Alright, you guys, so I'm going to teach you guys step by step on how to perform this haircut. Right now, I'm going to tell you guys what my client wanted, alright? He had specific instructions on what he wanted, man. He didn't want anything cut off the top, alright? He wanted to cut down the sides, but his last barber took too much off, alright? So right now, he showed me a picture on what he wanted. So I'm trying my best to follow exactly what he showed me. So right now, I'm parting the hair right at the parietal ridge. The parietal ridge is right around that area where the top meets the sides, all right? Right at that point area. So another thing, he wanted a drop fade, all right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop this, this part in the back behind his head. You don't want to set it right at the tip of the top of the head, all right? It's gonna make the haircut look super weird. So you gotta cater this part to the hairstyle that he wants, all right? So if he wants a mid fade, you gotta cater it towards a mid fade. If you want a drop fade, you gotta set this part just like you would a drop fade. You want to make sure you're neat about this as well, all right? Just like I say in all my videos, the way you start is how you finish, all right? So make sure you start off neat. Next, I'm gonna debulk the sides by clipper over combing, all right? So right now, I'm basically setting my comb at a 45-degree angle. The reason why I'm doing this is because I wanna keep some of that bulk at the top. Now the idea is to keep some of that bulk at the top so the hair, when it falls over, it has something to sit on. You don't want to basically give them a straight undercut and not leave some of that bulk at the top, because the way the hair is going to lay, it's going to lay flat on the head. You want it to bow out a little bit. So keep some of that bulk at the top as much as possible. So you want to make sure you grab some clippers to get this job done. You don't want weak clippers while you're clipper over combing, all right? You want to have some strong clippers that can handle the bulk, all right? So using the fast feeds ain't gonna cut it, all right? You can use some masters, you know, you could even use some wall seniors. I wouldn't recommend clipper over combing with the magic clips. But the instinct clippers, you know, let me just cut through the cheese. This instinct clippers are the one, all right? This is my favorite clipper. I done dang near benched all my clippers for this clipper right here, all right? The Stylecraft Instinct is an incredible clipper. The motor is very strong, does wonderful clipper over comb, knocks out bulk easy, all right? And most of all, it's small and lightweight. So we got the clipper over comb, basically the shape that we wanted. So right now I got my 2 guard on with the lever fully closed, which is an actual 2, and I'm going in and debulking the bottom, all right? I'm scooping out, making sure I still want to keep some of that bulk at the top. Keep that in mind when you're cutting these type of haircuts, that you want to keep some of that bulk at the top. So right now you see me, I'm just scooping out and really just trying to get it down to the level where it's easy to set in the bald line. You don't want to just, you know, go in setting the bald line in on bulky hair. The reason why is because we tend to press a lot harder trying to get all of that hair off and getting it down. You'll end up leaving a crease in your client's head. All right, and that it's going to be real tough to take out that bald line. So make sure that you just take down the hair. It's an extra step, but hey, it's worth it in the end. All right, you'll have a real nice blend. You'll be able to take out that bottom line a lot easier. So now it's time to set in that bald line. I'm gonna use my Babyliss FX trimmers to set it in. If you're a beginner, don't set it in like this, all right? Especially if you're using your hitters. Do not, I repeat, do not use your hitters, because like I said, it's gonna be hard to take out that bottom line. So use the trimmers that you use when you're lining up the kids, all right? That'll be easier for you to take out the bald line, and it just won't leave such a harsh line. So right now you see me, I'm dropping it in the back because he is getting a drop fade, and I'm just setting in the line first. I'm not debulking. I'm just trying to be super neat about how I set in this bald line. All right, it's almost like a design the way I do it. All right, so make sure you take that in consideration as well before you start to debulk. All right, you don't want to move fast. There is no rush to this. Just move at a consistent, comfortable pace. Next, I'm going to use my Babyliss UV shavers to basically add another transition to the blend. This makes the bottom half razor bald, and it just makes the fade a lot cleaner. So what you're doing is you're not going to go all the way up to the line. You're going to leave about a ½ inch of space. That way the transition can look smooth. So one thing you want to pay attention to that I never really addressed before is notice how when I go around the head, I go right back around it. All right, like I don't just rely on that first go round. I go back over my guidelines, as I go back to the other side. Now it's time to set in your second guideline. All right, the second guideline is the lever open. All right, I'm going up about a ½ inch, and I'm making sure that I go over this guideline multiple times to ensure that it's at that length. Now, keep in mind that some hair just doesn't grow up and down. Some hairs grow side to side, so you're gonna have to use your corners and still maintain that width. All right. And just go over the guidelines in different, angles. Sometimes you're gonna have to go side to side to get it down to this length. Don't just rely on it being up and down motion. As well as notice how I'm going a little bit higher in the back, all right? Because it's a lot, it's dense back there. So make sure that you start out a ½ inch, but as soon as you get to the back, you kind of raise it up just a tad. That's gonna make your transition in the back a lot better. Third guideline is the one guard with the lever open. Notice how I'm feeding the hair into the teeth of the blade, using my comb as a way to stop how far I go up. All right, I'm still keeping some of that bulk at the top. and I'm flicking outward, all right? Or should I say scooping outward, all right? The flick out motion is something different. It's almost like scooping out, but you're doing it a lot faster. So right now, I'm just trying to keep some of that bulk at the top, trying to maintain that width, going over the guidelines multiple times. So now I'm gonna clipper over comb and give my client the final shape. Now, when I do it, I'm paying attention to how far I go in, all right? I'm basically going in, setting it at a 45-degree angle, but I'm noticing where I put that one guard. I wanna go to that one guard area and basically take off everything that sticks out on the top, but making sure everything flows by going upward. Don't want to just set your comb at a 45-degree angle and just start chopping things off. No, you have to pay attention to what that bottom length is, all right, to blend into the top. So right now, we're gonna work our way back down by taking baby steps, all right? So with the one guard, with the lever fully closed, in a flick out motion, flick out that bottom line. Now remember, this is not gonna take it out, all right? This isn't gonna take it out, this is just softening it. This is just softening up that middle line so you can take it out better with the next step. Now, don't be afraid to add steps to your workflow, all right? That's how you detail and get these incredible blends that you see your favorite barber doing. They're not just skipping steps, all right? They're taking baby steps as they go down or as they go up. You know what I mean? Shoot, in the beginning, I was skipping steps, you know what I'm saying? And I just was wondering, if you go back on my older videos, you can see I really wasn't closing the lever on that one guard. You know, I was just going right in to the zero guard close and just trying to knock out that middle line. So I had to learn to even add steps to my blend to get better results. So even with this, if you need to, add more steps to this to get your blend to be better, I would recommend you do that because everybody is different. Everybody sees things differently. So just take what you see here and enhance it in your way. Now putting on the zero guard in a flick out motion, I'm flicking out that middle line. Now keep in mind, I'm using my corners the entire time. It may look like I'm using that full blade, but no, I'm using the corners. And as you can see, I'm kind of cutting side to side at some point, because like I said, not all hair grows just up and down. All right, so make sure you do that. Make sure you take baby steps, because you don't want to use the full blade, because then you're gonna have to focus on that full blade. You're gonna have to focus on both sides of that corner. All right, so if you just take those baby steps and just use one side of that corner, it's easier for you to lock in on, you know, what you see. Always remember to brush down as you go. Don't just rely on that, you know, it being straight hair and it's just gonna fall off anyway, or it's just gonna lay down just because it's straight hair. No. Take the time to get that debris out of the way so you can clearly see what's going on. So keep in mind that the flick out part of you cutting hair is a long step. All right, it's not like it's just completely easy. You're trying to get those lines out, and it's gonna take a while. So like I said, as long as you take those baby steps, as long as this process right here, you're really paying attention to what you're doing, you'll do fine. So sometimes the zero guard close doesn't take out everything. Now, it does a good job, don't get me wrong, but if you really want to step it up, I got my lever open right now and I'm just detailing those certain areas where I see bulk that I could clean it up just a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Those are the baby steps that I'm talking about. Like, go in, detail those areas while you're going back down. All right, don't wait until you get to the end and you have to do all this detailing. Like, detail a little bit as you go. That's what the baby steps I'm talking about. Like, it's just detailing as you go at this point. lever fully closed, in a flick out motion, flick out that bottom line. Now start below the line, flick to the line. As you can see, I adjusted my lever as I went up. This is a long process as well. Make sure you use your corners. Don't use that full blade. Even though it looks like it, trust me, you guys, I'm using my corners. And basically, as I take out that line, I'm adjusting my lever, and I'm going up a little bit more. So just because you take out the bottom line doesn't mean that you don't adjust your lever and get it to blend in a little bit more. That's all a part of detailing. And lastly, detail. I see some bulk that's at the top, so I'm attacking it with my one guard with the lever fully closed, and I'm gonna open it as well just to get that blend that I want into the bulk. But detailing is important, and detailing is basically I would say 80% of having a good fade. All right, so what I like to do when I detail is I like to utilize my mirror. The mirror shows you a different perspective on the blend than just seeing it head on. All right, sometimes I like to rest my eyes as well, because just looking at the blend kind of it kind of makes me go into a trance. So make sure you rest your eyes. Again, utilize your mirror and just kind of point out those areas where you see bulk. So right now I'm gonna prep the front line. My client wants a line up in the front, so I'm gonna take out my duck clips and basically create his front line at the same area where the parietal ridge is. That needs to flow, all right, in order for it to look right. So I'm gonna put my duck clips in the front and basically kind of part that area a little bit better than that, because I don't like the way it flows into the side part that I got. So I'm gonna bring those hairs down and basically, clean that area up. So as you can see clearly in this area right here, I'm bringing some of that hair down, basically making sure that it smoothly goes into that part that I said that I parted on the parietal ridge area. So once I get done, you're gonna see how smooth the transition is gonna be. It's gonna be a lot better. So I'm gonna use my one guard with the lever closed and bring down all of that hair in the front, all right? To me, the one guard is the perfect length for a lineup, all right? It don't matter how long your hair is. You use this guard, the lineup will come out crispy. So when lining him up, I always start in the middle, all right? Then I go to the side, and then I work my way to the other side, all right? I'll even do the vertical bars, but I usually don't do the vertical bars. I usually line up the total front first, but for the camera visually, I like to just finish out the vertical bar on that side. So right now, I'm just working in the middle. I go to the highest point, and I basically just take off as little as possible. You don't want to push your client back. So make sure that you visualize where the line is gonna be and then attack. That really sounded like the water boy. I ain't gonna hold you. That sounded like the water boy, all right? Visualize and attack. Listen, I didn't get it from that, but when it came out, hey. So giving my client enhancements, I basically use Kiss Express. I use a card, and I basically just spray a little bit at a time, all right? You don't want to oversaturate your client's hair with dye, so you just spraying a couple of times and making sure it's just not too thick, all right? That's the idea. You just want to leave it as natural as possible, but sometimes, depending on the dye that you're using, it's not going to come off that natural, you know what I mean? It's going to have some shine to it when you're working with Kiss. So to add another contrast to the lineup, to make the lineup really pop, I like to add this white pencil and basically just, go right alongside the lineup, and then I like to blend it out. It's just like how females use the pencil on their eyebrows to make their eyebrows pop. It's essentially the same idea with this pencil. Right now, I'm just gonna go over it with my liners and basically blend it in. So next, I'm using my barber plug razor to give my client a razor line, all right? Make sure that you go to the barberplug.com, pick up this razor. This razor is hard, all right? This razor is really dope. Make sure you use code 360GZ at checkout to get some percentage off on all your purchases there. So when you razor line, you basically want to make sure you stretch the skin, set the blade right there on your client's skin to where easy to glide on. All right, you don't want to dig in. That's not the idea, is to dig in. All right, you just want to glide the blade across the skin. All right, when you're first starting out, this is gonna feel like, you know, you're gonna feel timid. You're gonna feel like, I might cut them, but you have to trust the process. All right, the key is stretching the skin. All right, by not stretching the skin, you're gonna have the skin kind of fold up, and you might, you know, dig into his skin. So make sure the skin is stretched. So now I'm gonna take out my duck clips, but I really wanted to show you guys, by leaving that bulk on the sides, I want you to see how the hair lays, you know, by keeping it there. It's gonna sit up, you're still gonna be able to see some of the blend on the bottom, and it's not gonna just fall down. Listen, let me tell you why they call me 360. When I sit in my chair, I spin them in a full 360, and they come out looking like
God did.
YouTube, this is the cut. And if you like it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. Also, HustleDreamProduction, that's my brother. He does all my beats. His YouTube channel will be linked in the description below. Make sure you guys go give him a follow. Also, if you want to know where you can find any tools that you've seen in this video, links will be in the description below. Otherwise, you guys can follow me on Instagram and TikTok. My TikTok is official360Jeezy, and my Instagram is 360Jeezy. But it's your boy 360Jeezy.